Chapter 1: The Broken Promise. A kingdom of fire and promises. The kingdom of Althar lived by a single truth: strength was everything. From the nobles who ruled entire cities to the peasants who barely survived, all were subject to the same judgment: the ceremony of the flame. At 15, every youth had to present themselves before the ancestral crystal to discover their magical affinity. The result was classified into a rank. Tier F. Barely sparks, useless in combat. Tier E. Small supportive spells. Tier D. Techniques useful for artisans or common soldiers. Tier C. Respectable elemental magic. Tier B. Advanced spells, suitable for soldiers and minor nobles. Tier A. Powers capable of turning entire battles. Tier S. Living legends comparable to heroes. The result defined destiny: servant, soldier, noble, or myth. For Kael Ardent, the son of a blacksmith and a healer, that day was more than a ceremony. It was the test of a promise made many years before. Shared childhood. The memory of that moment under the cherry blossoms still echoed in him. "Hurry up, Kael," laughed a girl with golden hair as she ran lightly, her amber eyes shining like the sun. He, clumsy but smiling, struggled to keep up. "Lyra, wait," he replied, his humble clothes dust-covered. They stopped beneath the largest tree. Petals fell around them like pink snow. Laughter faded, and with an unexpected seriousness for her 13 years, the girl took his hand. "Kael, promise me something. No matter what happens, no matter what they say, we'll reach the top together." The boy hesitated. He knew she was faster, brighter. But seeing the determination in her eyes, he nodded. "I promise, Lyra. Together, always." They sealed the pact with a cut on the palm. Their mingled blood fell among the petals, as if the gods themselves were witnesses. Origins. Kael Ardent was born in Branner, a village of blacksmiths and farmers on the outskirts of Althar. His father, Theron Ardent, was a firm and honorable blacksmith. Hands hardened by fire, eyes tired but just. His mother, Celine, was the village healer, known for treating wounds and fevers without asking for reward. They had no titles or gold, but they gave Kael dignity, work, and the courage to protect his own. He grew up among the smoke of the forge, the scent of hot iron, and the stories his mother whispered about cures and remedies. That shaped his loyalty and his desire to become strong to protect his family. Lyra Everdon, by contrast, came from a different bloodline. Her parents, Lord Dorian Everdon and Lady Meleys, were noble, fallen into disgrace years before, and forced to live in the same village as the Ardents. They never abandoned their pride. From a young age, they taught Lyra that her name deserved to shine again at court. They fed in her the ambition to regain their lost position, teaching her not to confuse herself with the misery surrounding them. It was that mixture, a proud lineage masked by the humiliation of exile, that shaped the ambition that years later would drive her to make terrible decisions. The ceremony. The great temple of Althar was packed. Marble columns rose to a ceiling covered in glowing runes. The ancestral crystal shone at the center, waiting for the youths. One by one, they stepped forward. Soren, a nervous peasant, placed his hand on the crystal. It emitted a soft blue glow. "Tier D," announced the priest. "Water magic, capable of summoning minor currents and healing superficial wounds." Then Mira, daughter of merchants, stepped forward. The crystal flashed with cutting winds. "Tier C wind magic, able to generate gusts strong enough to topple trees." The audience murmured, evaluating each like livestock. Then it was Kael's turn. "Kael Ardent," proclaimed the priest. The boy walked to the runic circle. His heart pounded violently. He remembered Lyra's words, "always together." The crystal barely flickered. A grayish flash, weak, almost dead. The priest spoke with relentless voice. "Tier F ember magic, capable only of producing sparks, useless in combat." Laughter erupted immediately. "Not even good for lighting a fire," shouted a young noble. "An Ardent? What a waste," laughed another. Kael lowered his gaze, fists trembling. The echo of the mockery pierced his chest. "Lyra's turn." "Lyra Everdon," called the priest. She stepped forward with elegant grace. Her golden mane gleamed under the torchlight. As she touched the crystal, a scorching burst illuminated the entire temple. The priest raised his voice, incredulous. "Tier A, radiant sun magic. Its flames could destroy entire villages." The crowd roared in cheers. "A prodigy. chosen by the gods. Lyra's eyes shone with pride. Her lineage, the powerful House Everdon, was relevant again after years of decay. Her parents, Lord Dorian and Lady Meleys, smiled in the gallery, toasting with the nobles. At last, we leave behind that miserable life in the village, whispered Dorian to his wife. We should never have lived among that scum, Meleys replied with disdain. But our daughter has returned us to the place we deserve. The betrayal. Kael, still shaken, approached to congratulate her. I knew it, Lyra, you were always special. She looked him up and down. Her voice was an icy knife. Kael, we can't be together anymore. He froze. What are you saying? We swore that. The weak have no right to make promises, she cut him off coldly. You're tier F, I am tier A. Do you really think I would remain bound to you? A murmur ran through the hall. Some nobles smiled, satisfied. Kael felt an emptiness open in his chest. He remembered the cherry tree, the blood on their hands, the girl who once promised him an always. Lyra, he whispered, broken. She pushed him aside with a calculated smile and turned toward the priests. I propose that Kael be handed over to the Dark Order as a sacrifice. The audience fell silent for a moment. Then applause erupted like an implacable judgment. Among the murmurs, two nobles whispered in the shadows. The Dark Order always demands blood. Yes, they say that in those catacombs, the sacrifices feed forbidden powers. The guards seized Kael, chaining his hands. Lyra, he shouted as they dragged him away. How can you? She did not look at him. Because the weak do not deserve love. Kael's fate. That very night, Kael was taken to the catacombs beneath the temple. Chained to a stone slab, he awaited dawn. The decree was clear. He would be executed as an offering. He had lost his promise, his future, his heart. But in that darkness, a whisper awaited, a whisper ready to listen to his pain.